Motorweek, Owings Mills, Maryland, 21117. That's Motorweek, Owings Mills, Maryland, 21117. Now, that pencil still sharp? Then let's take a look at our third bride-to-be, also from Japan. This is the long-awaited replacement for the Datsun 210, a car that held the gas-sipping crown for more years than we can remember. The new kid in town, the Nissan Sentra. The Nissan Sentra was introduced in the late spring of 1982, making it the newest design among our four contestants. It is also the biggest, being 6 inches longer than the Colt, a foot longer than the Rabbit, and 2 feet more than the Le Car. Yet it weighs in at an even ton, only 80 pounds heavier than the Renault product. The Sentra is also the only one of our four-door subcompacts not to have a rear hatch, preferring instead a traditional trunk. But contrary to first impressions, that is hardly a disadvantage. The trunk is huge, long and flat. It was the only car besides the Rabbit to take all 4 bags without folding a rear seat. The front cabin is also very roomy, more than large enough for 2 overweight inhabitants, with seats comfortable enough for hundreds of miles without backache. All the extra length of the Sentra means the biggest rear doors and easiest entry of the group. Plus, with the front seats all the way to the rear, there is plenty of knee room. Since the Sentra is also the widest of our test cars, there is space on the fixed rear bench for 3 honest-sized adults. Inside, this is a big car. But space utilization does not end there. The wide, if plain-looking dash also includes a full glove box and 2 cubby holes, just right for a set of keys or a pack of smokes. And if that isn't enough, there are 2 convenient door pockets. Nissan, however, has not been so generous with instrumentation, although it does at least include a temperature gauge. But your affection for the Sentra will not end inside. It's great in tight spaces, too, with a turning diameter of only 32 feet, only 1 foot larger than the best of its rivals. And price? With a base price of $4,949 for the cheapest version and a $6,918 list for our 4-door test car, this Nissan product gave us the most usable car for the buck, more than any of the other 4. But it may not be the best car of the 4. If you like lots of styling in your cars, the Sentra may not be your cup of rice wine. We found our 4-door a rather boring shape with the huge black Federal safety bumpers protruding awkwardly from the rest of the design. Although exterior paint and trim were up to normal Japanese standards, we did find a couple of uncharacteristic flaws on the interior, like this one, the inside door molding that refused to remain attached. Could Nissan quality control be slipping? Could it also be that the Sentra has totally forsaken handling in the search of ride? Through our low-speed slalom course, the Sentra was the slowest of our group. We couldn't blame it on the power rack and pinion steering, which, while numb, was plenty quick. The real culprits were the front McPherson struts. The combination of 2 soft springs and very slow-responding shocks meant abnormal body lean in turns. The car would roll until the outside springs were fully compressed. Then, trying to roll more, it would force the tires to hop outward around the turn. At least the rear end stayed put. That is, until the high-speed emergency lane change, where the stern then quickly got out of hand. It took several attempts at entering our course at the customary 55 miles per hour before we could keep the car from broadsiding down the road. Even under control, you can still see a lot of tail twitch. We finally blamed the high-mileage, white-walled Yokohama radials for most of that trouble. Nissan suggests only 26 pounds of air for normal use, a low recommendation for such a tire. The heat of the day had them up to 35. Since these tires are not known for great traction anyway, it made a bad situation worse. But you exclaim, this is not a performance car, and you're right. And at highway speeds, the Sentra is a delight. It would seem to be a great small car for people who don't like small cars. The ride is soft, if a bit wallowy, but only over broken pavement did we feel any harshness. Since the Sentra is designed as a high-mileage car, we also did not anticipate great acceleration, and thus were not disappointed. But a passing time of 6.7 seconds from 40 to 55 is slow and was the slowest of the 4. On the other hand, the excellent 5-speed manual transaxle did allow some face to be saved over our 500-foot and quarter-mile contest. A time of 10.9 seconds and 50 miles per hour for the former, and 20 seconds and 69 miles per hour for the latter, while again slow, gave it third place among the competition. Braking results were also so-so. From 30, distances averaged a good 35 feet. There was no locking nor fade with moderate pedal pressure. However, from 55, things again changed. The rear brakes would tend to lock first, causing some wheel hop. This combined with a light back end and those hard, hot tires produced consistent tail swing around. Distances still averaged an okay 133 feet. But we honestly think that a change in tires on the Sentra could cure a lot of its problems. But one thing you're not going to want to change is mileage. This so-called E for efficiency engine is the heart of the matter. Its overhead cam, hemispherical combustion chamber design produced an EPA rating of 35 city and 50 highway for our four-door. Motorweek's Urban Loop produced a class-winning 44, a terrific performance.